behind you the wind turbines on the Locust Ridge Wind Farm in central Pennsylvania. And a wind farm consists, this one, of about 13 of these wind turbines. Each one generate electricity when the wind blows. And the concept is just as simple as the windmills in Holland that have been operating for 300 and 400 years. When the wind blows, it turns that rotor, and that turns a generator, which is in the nacelle, the box at the top, and that's about 250 feet in the air, so it captures the stronger winds that blow at that altitude, at that height. And then from there, the generator is connected down through the tower, through wires into the electric grid underground, and comes up and joins the transmission lines that serve all of us.
I started this project with my wife about 3 or 4 years ago. We had the idea of developing a wind farm because we live on this ridge. We know that it's a windy place. We knew the land, we knew the people, we knew the permitting process and the interconnection. It just seemed like a good fit.
We started Community Energy about 7 years ago with the thought that there were many folks and businesses in the Delaware Valley and the Mid-Atlantic that would support new forms of energy given the chance to do it. And so we started out signing up customers, both residential and commercial, who would agree to pay a little bit more for their electricity if it could be generated from wind energy. And with that, we were able to erect the first wind farms in the Mid-Atlantic, working with developers and utilities in the area. And we've now really taken a lead in the Mid-Atlantic, in Pennsylvania and now up into New York, by putting wind farms in place that can harness electricity from the wind that just wasn't in place before. As little as 5 years ago, there was very little wind generation east of the Mississippi, 1 or 2 wind farms. And it was really the voluntary market, customers that said, we'd like to sign up to get this industry started, that built the industry along the East Coast.
A lot of people ask, well, how does this really offset pollution? How does this work? And of course the answer is that today these turbines are turning with wind and there's zero emissions. There's absolutely no pollution being produced. And all of the generation that we have right now is generation that is not being produced by a fossil fuel or a nuclear source. So we are just directly offsetting emissions because of that. You look at what the value of this wind farm is with pollution offset, there's about 95 million pounds of carbon dioxide that's offset every year by this wind farm. It's the equivalent of planting 13,000 acres of trees. And there are lots of statistics on it, but every statistic you look at, you say, wow, this is really, really a good thing.
The long-term prospects for wind is one of the few resources that offer a guaranteed flat price for the life of the project. Since there's no fuel volatility, no anticipation of where oil prices are going, or coal or natural gas, you can predict and lock in the price of wind energy at the time you build a plant. It's a capital investment. So the long-term prospects for the price of wind energy are always good from the customer's point of view and from the utility's point of view. It lets you lock in today's price for 20 years. So what we would expect to see over the next 10 and 20 years is that wind energy prices remain flat while other energy prices continue to rise, and you should see wind become more affordable just on a straight cost dollar for dollar basis.
The public has really embraced this project. I think they were somewhat skeptical at first when the idea came out they were going to build a wind farm, and no one really knew what it was. Once it was actually constructed and they came in and saw that there are these large, beautiful, graceful machines, that they're quiet, that they really don't have an environmental impact, and that we're producing this electricity with zero emissions, I think that people really, really warmed up to the idea. People are used to having the environmental impacts of coal. They're used to seeing cogeneration plants that are spewing ash and other pollutants out. And to have this right here in the heart of the coal region is encouraging, I think, to people who live here, that there are options, that we can be making use of our resources without creating really significant negative impacts to the environment.